Have you ever been caught asking yourselves how someone can just go out and essentially murder an innocent animal? I know that from the outside looking in, that may seem like it's the case. However, hunting is an essential element in maintaining our forest and grasslands that animals need to survive. And additionally, it serves as a means of population control. Without hunting, then animals would overpopulate, and then they would begin to die off due to starvation and naturally occurring habitat loss, because the amount of animals is no longer sustainable and maintainable within that environment. Throughout the rest of my speech, I want to go over stuff such as the hunting regulations and benefits from them, the money that is produced from hunting each year, the way hunters assist in maintaining our natural lands, and lastly, the overall population increasingly approving of hunting. My first item I want to touch up on is that hunting regulations have proven themselves to reestablish optimal population levels in animals such as white-tailed deer. Environmental enthusiast and writer Randy Augsburger discusses how when abiding by state and federal regulations on the amount of game you're allowed to harvest, which is determined by a professional biologist, it is proven to reach a sustainable level of a given species within a specific region. When animals like white-tailed deer overpopulate, then they are forced out of their natural environment and into foreign grounds in search of food. When they do that, they come to areas that are frequented by humans, like urban environments, and this increases the likelihood of crashes and the spread of disease. Also, studies have shown that when white-tailed deer are overpopulated within a specific area, then the fawn survival rate is dramatically decreased from the original, because competition for food is more intense, and therefore mothers have to leave their fawns in search of food, or else they will die as well. Hunting and other hunting generated activities have increased our wild elk herd by 20 times, our wild turkey flock over 133 times, and our white-tailed deer population 70 times in the last century. Students wrote an article from the University of Washington stating how in the 1900s, early 1900s, bear, deer, wolves, amongst many other animals were on the brink of extinction because there were no hunting regulations to be enforced. And now, because conservation measures and hunting regulation have become enforced, that those animals inhabit much of their original range. Also, in 1970, conservation measures and hunting regulations became strictly enforced to save what natural resources that we had left. And by fact, the population of hunters is at an all-time low of 5%, which is down from 9% in 2001, which means that the overall animal population in many species is at an all-time high. The second thing I want to talk about is the income that hunting generates, which is over $1 billion a year. And $700 billion is dedicated in just license and fees, which half of that goes towards the state's natural resource agencies. Private organizations such as the Safari Club International, the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, and Ducks Unlimited, amongst many other private organizations, donate over $300 million a year in wildlife conservation. Additionally, $4.2 billion has been raised since 1937 by hunters to purchase millions and millions of acres of public land to help provide animals a place to flourish and live. The next thing I want to talk about is from an article by Whit Gibbons, who's the author of over 20 ecology books. And he talks about how hunters maintain our natural lands by more than just population control and the money that it generates, but also they have been getting involved in partnerships that care about outdoor recreation and habitat protection. He describes a good habitat as one that can sustain the current level of wildlife, and hunters assist in doing that by keeping a variety of lands undisturbed, unpolluted, and intact. The last thing I want to talk about is from the writers of Earth Talk magazine, which is an environmental magazine, and in a recent survey, it stated how the majority of the population, 78% to be exact, now approves of hunting, which is up from 73% in 1995. The number of people who disapprove of hunting has dropped down to 16%. Overall, 80% of the population believes that hunting has a legitimate purpose in today's modern society. Today, hunting is viewed in two different ways. The first way is known as therapeutic hunting, which is said to be beneficial to the environment and is acceptable by most. The second type of hunting is sport hunting, which is said to only benefit humans and is unacceptable. In short, I have discussed only a few facts of many that support hunting and its benefits. I hope that after listening to my speech, you have a different view on the outdoor activity that supplements healthy animal numbers and preserving and maintaining our natural lands. So when you go home tonight, I want you to ask yourselves, why get rid of hunting when eventually that will just get rid of our wildlife?
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.